As the day closes, we have covered many, many topics. We have gone a long journey. A journey, everybody talks, oh, why do we go on the journey? Well, the fact is, it's not to get from a point from A to B. The journey is the whole path from A to B. And that's the journey we are taking today. The journey is to where we want to take from point A as people who we are, and B is to a place we want to go and to be for our future, for our children's future. We know we need to fight. We know that we must rely, and as Governor Noam says, we must be examples of courage. She talked about COVID, and like I say to people, I'm not such a great sense of humor, my kids make fun of me. I say, what do courage and COVID have in common? They're both contagious. So if you can show some courage like we have today here, a little, the fact that you are here today is already a sign of courage. The fact that we have all these leaders here is a sign of hope. And it's a sign of courage that we can do better tomorrow. Tomorrow will be better. We must be the moral compass for the future. We must fight. They tried to cancel us here 3 days ago. I fought like Governor Noam, and she was saying, we have long nights, long days. I haven't slept for 3 days, but if we want to fight for freedom, that's the fight we need to take. No one said it was going to be easy, but we must show the example to our future generations. For this, I thank each one of you. I want to thank also my staff who made this possible. I'd like to thank all our guests. I'd like to thank all the teams that are here. I also want to also take some time to thank my family, my children, my parents who have always been there, because without a solid family and without solid values, I wouldn't be here today. So much big thank you to all of you. And as a last statement, because what it makes possible too is I wanted to thank also our key sponsor, the Danube Institute. I'd like Mr. István to say a couple of words to us, because he was also very generous, but not just being generous, but he also had an authentic sense of devotion to this cause. And when I spoke to him on his phone, I said, Randy, you're going to make this possible. And I said, don't worry, I'll make it possible. And I'm very happy to have shared this moment with him. Come and join us for just to say a couple of words, Mr. Kis. The Danish Institute is one of the largest think tanks in Hungary, and thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much, Randy, for the kind words. It's a real privilege and honor to be here with you. I think these events are crucial. They are very crucial for three main reasons, I think. First, because the left has been doing the same for more than a century. They have been doing this since at least the end of the 19th century with the communist and socialist internationals. They developed huge networks. They have their own NGOs like Freedom House or Amnesty International. They have their huge conferences. They have regular talks where they share their ideas. They come together. Sadly, the right conservatives have been lacking in this. We haven't been doing events like this only just recently. And I think it's crucial that we do these. Second is that we share the same values, despite what we hear sometimes. Sadly, as I mentioned, the left has built its own organizations. The mainstream media is mostly owned by the left. And we will hear a lot of falsehoods and untrue things about our own movements, about our own countries. That's why I want to just quickly show you why we established the Hungarian Conservative 3 years ago. There's still some copies to the right of the room if you're interested. My colleagues can give you copies to kind of counter some of the narratives which are spreading about Hungary and which are mostly false about them. And I think it's crucial that we show these values with events like this, where we come together, share our ideas, get to know each other. because I said the left has been doing it and we have to catch up. And also because, don't mistake, we heard a lot of stories here, terrible stories. Coming from a post-communist country, I really was saddened and was fearful of what I heard here about how assets are being frozen because you are a member of a party or because you are participating in protests against the government. Namely conservative government can accept net zero goals and go to farmers and tell them to kill animals. These are terrible things. These remind me of communism in Hungary, where you had plans and the government could just do whatever they wanted to do with you. This is wrong, and these people will come after us. So we have to stay together, we have to talk, we have to share ideas. And also the third reason is that we can learn from each other. And I think we had a lot of interesting speeches here, which we could take away and learn from. And I think Hungary has a lot of things to offer as well. Again, that's why we established this journal. Of course, I would warn you about following blindly policies. Sadly, Hungary did that mistake under socialist governments in the 90s and the 2000s. But still, you might find interesting elements in Hungarian policy which you might mimic. Of course, it's also important to share political campaign strategies, as was mentioned here with the Trump campaign team. So I think these are the three main reasons we have to organize more events like this, and that's why I'm very grateful to Randy. Thank you very much for organizing this, especially with all the backlash you have been getting. You really had to, do the miracle and reorganize the whole conference almost in 2 days. So thank you very much for that. Also to Solomon, I hope we can work together in the future more. And of course also to, I'm not sure if Rodrigo is still here, an honorary Hungarian, who basically brought us together and introduced me to you. So once again, I would like to thank you all. Thank you, of course, to all the guests. And I very much hope that this is the beginning of the beautiful friendship, and then this is going to be the first event of many. Thank you, and I hope you all have a lovely dinner.